It's time. It's time for you to live better.
It's time for you to feel healthier.
It's time for you to live longer.
It's time for you to enjoy your journey.
It's time for you to understand your body and your mind. Thank you so much for joining us on It's Time today. We are your hosts. I'm Linsly Donnelly, your citizen scientist and your longevity expert for midlife women.
And I'm Dr. Jen Wagner, physician and holistic performance expert. Welcome to It's Time, powered by Prosper. Just a quick reminder, the information discussed in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. We are not offering medical advice, nor are we entering into any type of physician or clinician relationship with listeners. Always consult your healthcare provider before beginning any new fitness, nutrition, or lifestyle changes to ensure they're right for you. Your health and safety is our priority, and let's keep it that way. Thank you. All right. Well, here we are. We're back. And we have the most special guest with us today, and we're super excited to talk.
So we've done a little field trip. I am at one of our favorite places in Park City, which it's not going to be just in Park City forever. That's just a little teaser. Right. We are at the Beau Collective, which is the heart and soul and brainchild of Whitney. So introducing Whit, can you give us a little bit of the story of the Beau Collective?
Totally.
To be?
Yeah. So we're coming up again, like so excited to be here and do this kind of work with you all. But we're coming up on 10 years of doing fitness differently. And it really came from me missing teammates after I started to have kids and I made mom friends, and I missed that special thing that teammates brought out of you. Mm-hmm. And so later in life, when we're all young professionals and married and doing different things, it's hard to kind of connect with people. So I had this concept that you could do a team format where people still signed up to meet regularly, work out, and then have space and time to hang out as well. So it's evolved over the last 10 years, but really at the core, the mission is to connect people consistently. We want you in. We want to see you on a Tuesday, a Friday, and then again the next week. And really fitness has been the vessel, is something that people need in some degree, I believe, every day. And it is really neat how it's just bonded HIIT workouts that I believe in so much. And then the hospitality and community element as well. People are just so great as we're all navigating different things in life. We got to do it together.
Yes. And for people who can't see, if you're listening to this and not watching it, we are in the Beau Collective. And it is such an inspiring place to walk into. The words lift you up, the colors and the merchandise lifts you up. But we're at the famous long table, which I've heard say this is the most important piece of equipment, right?
It's true. I mean, we've got treadmills and pieces of equipment that are thousands of dollars. This social table, I think, costs $107 to build, and it's the most valuable piece of equipment we have. So a lot has happened here over the years and continues to. It's just the right amount of connection space. It's the right height. And it's really at the core of everything that we do here.
Well, because you've been a pioneer at understanding that community matters and that relationships matter for the long haul. So when Jen and I talk a lot about living better now and for the long haul, we've talked in other conversations about how important relationships are in living happier for a long time. And so you're fostering that with fitness, which totally is, move is our other priority. So it's kind of a unique combination of fitness and community right here.
Yeah. Well, and if the question is does it get better as you get older? Or is it, hi there, how's it going? Yeah, see, stuff's happening all the time.
I love it. Yep. Lots of moving parts.
Yeah.
I think that the take of everything is there's strength in numbers and everything truly community and that muscle that we build and strengthen. It doesn't just happen. You don't just instantly have community. You have it in the little moments of exchanges of information or of a shared struggle or of some circuit that's really hard, but you just did it with someone that you maybe barely know. You're bonded in a way that's so cool. So I've seen it for years, how it works in the sweat and fitness side of it, but up front as well. Some real sensitive conversations can happen if everything, the surroundings feel safe and fun and uplifting. And I've seen people come in here that are dealing with a lot and have had real shitty mornings or are really facing tough things. And they just leave. Somebody just randomly will make them laugh or that just lightens their load, and it is just a delight to watch. And I've consumed it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's been really cool.
And I think we have to
People need
backtrack.
people.
Absolutely. I think we have to backtrack a little bit and explain to everyone that's watching us or listening to us, like how the three of us are connected, and
Yes. Yeah.
so to back way up, Whitney and I went to high school together, and
Go
then
Gators.
kind of, yep, go Gators. And then, kind of off doing our own things through college and our kind of young adulthood, and then reunited. And what was really fun is when I was thinking about moving to Park City, we were talking and reconnecting, and she's like, "You have to come work out." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't do group fitness. Not my thing." And,
Whatever, Jen.
Yeah. It's like, no.
and I was like, I miss having a team for sure, but I was like, I don't do group fitness. It was just an intimidating environment for me to work out in. And she's like, "No, you just got to come check it out." And the sense of community that is in the building where Linz and Whit are sitting right now is just outstanding. I mean, I am a now true believer, and I was very much a private exerciser prior to that. And then I think, Linsly and I owe Whit also our connection, that we worked out in that building next to each other at 6 a.m. for years. And other than, "Hey, how are you?" didn't know much about each other. So, and Whitney very clearly said, "You two need to go for a walk and talk to each other."
Together.
Do you know who this is? I'd say that to both of you.
Yes.
You know what she does?
like,
You guys need to know each other.
Yeah, I was pretty much just trying to chase Jen on anything. Be like, can I get close to that woman? She's an amazing athlete. So I think that it is a compelling model, because we've all worked out in different locations. We've all been working out our whole life, and this is the only place that does this. So this combination of really authentic, fun, uplifting relationships and awesome sweating and the workout that you need that day and the workout that you want it to be are stunning.
No, and I think it is also, it really is this team concept. You have your group, and they kind of call you out when you're not there for a little bit, in a really supportive way. Like, "Hey, is everything okay? Where have you been? We've missed you." Whit and her team do a great job of checking in, and it's not all the time, so you don't feel overwhelmed by it, but it's just the right amount where it's like, "How is everybody doing today?" And hands down, everybody walks out of the building better than what they came in. And that's a testament to the community. That's a testament to movement. That's a testament to great music, and just this entire environment and awesome coaching throughout the whole thing that just makes it such a remarkable place and a remarkable style of exercising.
Yeah. One thing I think that's pretty unique about the perspective you have, Whitney, is you started this 10 years ago, right? And your clients have been with you that long. I mean, new people are coming in all the time, but you've got this window on what's really changed, because we're talking to midlife women, right? So what's really changed for midlife women now versus when you started working out with them and training them 10 years ago? What are the couple of things you'd flag as, hey, this is new on the radar?
Yeah, absolutely. Our people, I always say we're the tailgaters. We're the people right out of college that sometimes miss it. And then as we've grown up and we're able
as we're sitting here with our trucker hats on.
I know. We went to college.
I think we're still in college.
We miss it sometimes. But that is a perpetual market where once you get into this parenthood, it is like a full contact sport, and you're doing stuff and you're able to move and you can go for runs and do all of these things. Your body will allow you, if you take care of it, to do all of these things. Then I think the soul starts to drive a lot of the commitments and a lot of the direction. So it becomes less about pushing your body to a certain extent and more about how to strengthen it. And I think that's been new. It's been new on my radar, the longevity piece, gifted by the attention that you all bring to it, is how can you, the decisions that you make between your 40s and your 50s really impact how you're going to live in that high half. And it is it, or back half.
I like the high half better. I like
well, back half, we had some confusion today, Jen. They thought she was talking about some glute work, but I know. So
it's like, and I think you know who thought that.
Right. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So I think, the value that people, and I will say though, it isn't, I've watched people depart and say, I'm going, and now I just do Pilates and I just do yoga. And I'm like, that's amazing. There's 7 days in a week that there's room for that, but you still have to get that intense cardiovascular work, and then the strength and the heavy. You have to do it because you're losing a percentage of your muscle every year after you turn 30.
Yeah.
So these things are so important. So I am so impressed by these people that have been with us for a decade, that they're still here and they're still doing it. And I really think because they've been doing it for a decade, they can still do it. And that's my intention. And I would encourage anybody to really find that routine that incorporates all of that and phase in the new things that become relevant as you get older.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are doing an amazing job of educating too, right? Because I mean, even my last 7.5 years in this building, like, it is shifting a little bit, and things are on offer that we didn't understand 7 years ago are on offer now. And I think that that's really amazing. I love sometimes when in one of the classes I take, there's a woman who's probably 15, maybe 20 years older than I am. And she's in there doing it. And you can see her looking around to see, she's checking out what other people are doing, and she's trying different things. And it's awesome to see. And so it's been really great to, because I know at one phase of my life, I'm like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this. Like, I don't know how long my body's gonna be able to tolerate this. And so to have a place that you love kind of be so connected to the science and be so connected to really what your clientele needs. And it's awesome to see like the new moms working out next to our kind of midlife women, and then having some older women and men in there together. And I think that's another really cool point is the men are watching us and they're watching these women pick up heavier weights than what they're using. And they're like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, for the people who can't be in Park City, first of all, we would say, please come to Park City and come to the Beau Collective, like immediately.
Check it out.
Or to the next one. Yes. It's going to open up. But for people who can't come here, what would you say are things that they can kind of proactively try to duplicate and replicate in what you've done here in their own hometown?
Well, for starters, keep yourself around high frequency, enthusiastic people, and hook on to a group. I would say, of course, everybody can find their way to fitness, but the people that find their way to fitness and friends that enjoy that fitness, that is a lifestyle. That is a way that you will consistently, and I know like Jen and I can attest to this. If we didn't have fitness in common, I don't know how often we'd see each other, how much we would connect. Find people that hold you accountable, that you want to see, and multitask by working out, getting a coffee or a smoothie after, or going for a run, and make that be a routine thing. I subscribe to HIIT style workouts. I love them full body, but I also am a runner. And I love running solo, but then I really love it when I can meet up with a friend and we take that hour to just talk about whatever. It's one of the joys in my life. So find some people to do the things, and it becomes like exercise in disguise.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, no, you talked about HIIT, and if some people maybe don't really know about HIIT. So tell us, first of all, what it is and why you are such an advocate of it, and it's your primary focus.
Of course. Yes. So it stands for high intensity interval training. So the modality of it is that you are flipping through cardio, strength, and core pretty much on repeat without letting your heart rate drop for more. Like the most you would let it drop is about 2.5 minutes. Okay. So you're really working, kind of going for that epoch at the end of the workout, really revving your, keeping your heart rate. And now we're asking for it more as we are finding that like that intense cardio opportunity, take that, right? Don't just move at a steady state, move with intention and with, kind of a fierce sprint pace, but then actively recover, hold some heavy weight, do some core work, and then back to it. So
Okay.
that's kind of the modality. And it's in everything. It's 11-11, everybody.
11. Oh yeah, I love that you have that timer off. Make a wish right here.
Yeah, right. And I like an everything day every day. So I don't do leg day. This is me. This is just how it's worked for me. But I love to work all body groups whenever I have an hour, and I'm tight on time.
Right.
Anyone else? So I feel like it's the most efficient way to do it. So that's it.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love about the way you approach every time I walk in your studio, it's like, hey, this is what's on offer today. And then feel free to go off script.
Yes.
So somebody might be doing a lift heavy routine. And so they're lifting heavy weights with lower frequency, where the program is lighter weights with higher frequency because it's more of a cardio. Or they might be doing sprint interval training instead of doing HIIT interval training, which is a little different intensity and timing. And there's room to do all of that with the community of people and great music.
Right.
So that's
yes. Right. It's all the things that keep us going. I know I can do all this stuff on my own. I don't want to. It's just I'm so much more motivated. I can really come alive and find that special gear if I've got good people who I can see are finding it too.
Yeah. So if you were helping, again, people that don't have access to a facility like yours, kind of design their week, how often do you think, especially someone that is maybe just starting to enter this style of exercise, how often do you recommend they start taking a HIIT class? How do they find a good one? Like what things do you recommend that people look for?
Yeah, I think there are so many good ones that are out there, but I do know that even people, on what's on Instagram and TikTok right now, amazing workouts, even if they've got a couple friends together and did it in their own garage or in their, it doesn't take a whole lot. I have a good friend in Texas that she's got a garage group that she writes some workouts and it's 2-3 days a week. I think there's so much on offer that doesn't have to be a studio. Thank goodness. The pandemic has shown us so much availability when time is tight or you just can't get there, but you want to take care of yourself. So I'd say to segue in, you're going to want to anchor into 2 days a week at a minimum. 3 days a week is really beneficial. I probably take about 5 or 6 days a week that I'm working full body for an hour. And those other 2 days, I'm either running or taking off. So I think it's a gradual build, but 2 days to start. You're just never really going to hook on if it's once a week.
Gotcha. As you're describing that, I think one of the things that I don't even know if you knew you taught this, but you do, which is that you can walk into the studio, and as I was describing, that you can run the program however you want. So, and what I mean by that is, so if I'm traveling and I run into an Orange Theory, I still want to go somewhere because there's a group. There's just something to working out with people now that I really appreciate that I did not appreciate before. So I work out with a group. But what you've taught me to do is how to translate a program that's been in front of me to the program that I actually want to do and do it with comfort.
Yes.
So as you think about, okay, you can do this in your garage, or you can do it. If you can describe a little bit about how you help people take a program that they walk into an Orange Theory or an F45, and then they can recalibrate it for what it is they want to get out of that workout.
Definitely. I think it goes back to knowing that you want, if you break up an hour class, right, you're in kind of or 45 minutes. We really run it all the way, maximizing every minute that we can. So let's say you take it in 5-minute blocks and 2.5, 2 minutes, you're warming up. And then let's say you've got a 5-minute block that is strength, and then a little bit of cardio. And then that next 5-minute block is core and a little bit of cardio. And then you go back to strength and you phase in. So you can really take wherever you go. And sometimes it just feels good to a 3-2-1. I use every time I'm traveling. It's so easy. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So I've done it, and you can alternate, but 3 minutes of cardio, 2 minutes of strength, 1 minute of a plank hold. And then you can go 1 minute cardio, 2 minutes of core and 3 minutes of strength. Like it is, so there's ways to break it up. Again, trying to adhere to, don't go more for our modality, more than 3 minutes, letting that heart rate drop, but just take it in blocks. It's like a block party.
Yeah, like a block party. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So as we continue on, tell us kind of, I also don't want to overlook the fact that you are an incredibly successful female entrepreneur. And that you have built this company from what started in a parking lot and in a hotel gym into like a major hub of our community, and are getting ready to expand that. And, you have a in-person fitness studio that has survived COVID, that, really have shown what it means to adapt in different environments and through different challenges. And so I would love to just spend a couple minutes on that side of your journey, because I think it's so impactful, especially for some of our midlife women who are thinking about new careers or trying to overcome some of the challenges that you've faced on the business side of this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, definitely. Now, the neat thing to note is that this is all a fluke in the vein of, I started doing what I was passionate about and what I love to do, and I let it grow from there. So I think it's important to note that I didn't come at it with a business model. I started to say, this is what I need in my life, and I think others might too. And then I started with 24 people who to this day are still, so many, 80% are still with us. And then the business, with the effort and the love that I had for it, it kept taking us where it wanted to go. And this was before franchises were here in Park City. So it really did, it was timing. And sometimes, and for people out there that are trying to do I would say, don't delay on what brings you joy, because you never know in the timing model of life if you're just right there. Don't rush, but don't wait. And then to move into, our membership was so large, and thank goodness we had a barn to keep everybody in it, you know? And then we moved from there to a distillery where it literally distilled our membership, our focus. Because of the pandemic and facing what so many people did. And I was surrounded by people that just kept going. And I think that's such an important lesson. You really are the average of the people you spend the most time with. And yes, this is business, but it really became such a personal journey for me to say, oh my gosh, what a differentiator to have such people around me rooting for all aspects of what I was trying to work on, and me sharing in their journey and hardship too. Like, I'll never forget that time, and I'll never forget some of the players during that time. Yeah. These females that I was around, and it just was an incredible testimony to how do we pivot? And life is going to give us this, and what do we do with it?
So we have to pause for a minute, because I have to just share these anecdotes, because they were so creative, right? You remember this, Jen, where Whit's like, everybody show up at the parking lot, got your mask on, take a piece of equipment with you. And literally took the pieces of the bow out, rowers for adoption. Yeah, it was like camp. It was like, I got the 35-pound bell, and we would be on video, and we would be doing it, and we'd all have a part of the bow in our homes. I mean, it was such a creative and heartfelt effort. So,
I loved it.
I mean, it was hard to turn it back in, but we had to turn it back in when this the new base came.
I was such an advocate for in-person connection, and it wasn't acceptable at that point. And I remember, and my husband too, we were like, it won't always remain this way. We're not wired this way. I'm grateful for every Peloton that exists out there and how it kept people moving, because it was so important. But I just really believed, like, people are going to need to be back together. So, and I took a lot of heat for that. I really did in this small
Right.
town.
I
That was a
remember.
big challenge. That was a real low point for me.
Yeah.
But I kept going and stayed true to it. And I really realigned. And we came back to life and we revived.
Yeah.
And then we
Yes.
had to move again.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not doing it. I can't do this again.
We said you have to.
But you did. But you did. But I think, that is a true testament to your passion, but also your leadership. I think for those of us that were with you through those times, feeling safe and feeling connected was so important. And you provided that for so many that I think it was really vital. And to be able to connect on video. And then when it was safe to be able to connect again in person was, I think, just an amazing feat through that time period. When it would have been, I don't think anyone would have batted an eye other than sadness if you would have been like, I'm out. It's just not meant to be. And so, I mean, a true testament to your leadership, to your vision, to your passion, and to how important the work is. I think that, I think it's easy sometimes, we have so much fun in what you're doing to forget that it's a shit ton of work on the backside, right? And that was a period of time where truly, like, the leadership and your business insights and all of that other side that sometimes is just kind of behind the scenes really shone through and really gave a lot of us a lot of hope. So I just want to say thank you for that, for sticking with it through that time period.
It makes me so happy to know that. And I will be committed to this kind of work forever because that it is how we survived and stayed sane during a global shutdown.
Yeah.
Like it really was a wild time that connection pulled us through it.
Yeah,
Even,
for sure.
Yeah. Well, Jen, as you were thinking about some of that, because I think some of the business insights also were pretty cool, the way Whit created this model. We've talked mostly about the fitness part of it, but if you're comfortable sharing a little bit about the broader business side,
Yes.
this is the core, is the table and the gym, but there's way more than that that's going on here.
Definitely. Like when we had to move out of the distillery, I said, okay, I don't know if I can do this again. And then someone said, well, how about next to Nike at the outlets? And I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I saw the space and I said, it can't just be a gym. And we had maybe sold some retail and I was establishing some partnerships. And then I realized the parking lot was kind of awesome for all of our people. And I said, well, why don't we make it like a hybrid? And all of these people, if this is built-in shoppers and I can make their life a little bit easier, that they can come in and grab a gift or do something, we can expand the retail part of it. That could be really fun. And that might need to be happening to feel safe in this new world as I navigated and was just like, okay, the fitness is important, but the retail is kind of fun. And it became this up-leveled next generation of experience that the business has just kind of taken us where it wanted to go, and it wanted to do more for these people and these amazing men and women that have been along for the ride. Yeah. So now we have a forward-facing retail component that is curated, that employs some dear friends in town and their kids, my kids. It gives us a place to kind of experiment and do things differently.
Mm-hmm. You also do all the after hours programs, which I think are a ton of fun.
Yes.
Cinco de Mayo and more.
Right. Yeah. So really what's happened here is that we have flex space and the business has, set hours for the fitness and set hours for the retail. And then it's just here and it's so fun. It's such an open space and accessible. And it sounds silly, but the parking is such a big deal. Cool thing. So we have an after hours rentability where, like going on right now, as you can see and hear, maybe there's people coming back for a mat Pilates class. They just don't have the space to do it, but they can here because it's after hours. Mm-hmm. There's private events that are use up the whole space or just the shop. We've done birthday parties, bachelorette, all the things like that bring me so much joy. And we just really unlock the doors to something different every day. We really do.
So Tell us what's coming next, because I think this is really, for us insiders that kind of know what you're up to, it's pretty exciting because this is, as much as we don't want to share it because it's so special to us, it is something that the broader community absolutely deserves to be touched by. And so, explain what your next adventure is.
Well, thank you, Jen. Well, again, I've just been trusting and leaning in to where this business wants to go. And what we've kind of brought in is it wants to try on a big city. And this small town has been amazing and it's been nurtured so well, but it's outgrowing this a little bit. And I think there's so much joy that can be delivered from the social table out in new locations. And there are, I would be committed to that crusade of connection and making fun of things that aren't normally fun for people, and just to try to deliver some delight. And where we're very accustomed to this concept here, a lot of people are not. And so I've had friends that I've grown up with in Arizona, Phoenix specifically, who have asked for a while for us to open there. And I said, I'm not doing that. How would I even know how to do that? And I've been taught in this last 9 months of how to do it. It's like the gates keep opening once I take the step, and once I trust, and once I reach out and take action, the gates just keep opening. And so I'm very excited, not exactly sure where it's headed, just trusting that I will know how to tackle each next problem or each next opportunity. And Phoenix would be the platform and prototype that we would have to say, okay, this is in a real city. This is not just small town Park City. And then the concept would be to prototype it and then open it up in multiple locations. My belief is that every town needs a social table, not another bar, not another restaurant, not another shop, but a place that takes care of people. That's open at sunrise. Like, let me go get a hostess gift at 7 a.m.
Yeah, which
Why?
I have
Why?
so many times. I have so many
These
times.
are the things that this is how my mind works, and I'm hoping. So I'm very optimistic, and I'm working very hard, and I'm excited at what's happening. So I'm here for it, and I'm there for it.
And we're so excited.
Hi. Okay, you know what? We gotta let Whit get back to her other job here, because people are coming in, and they're coming in with great energy.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time with us. We so appreciate everything you do and offer. We love you.
Well, I love to be alongside you on this journey, and just keep doing it, keep serving, people just need people, and they need lighthouses, and show them the way. So keep it up, ladies.
Yes.
Great job.
Awesome.
Thank you for sweating by.
Thanks, you guys. All right. We'll see you soon.
Right.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us here today. If you liked what you heard and you got some tips on how to live better right now and for the long haul, please help us reach more midlife women. Please share and rate and like this show. And we can't wait to continue the dialogue with you on our next episode. Until then, thank you. It's time.